Welcome everyone to Purple Acorn Live, brought to you by VirgilHR. We're here in San Diego at SHRM 25, and I'm here with Steve Browne. I'm so excited to chat with you today.
It's great to be here. I love you guys, love what you do. It's great to hang out.
So for people who don't know you, can you give us the quick 30-second elevator pitch?
Oh, I'm terrible at this. Officially, Steve Browne, Chief People Officer of La Rosa's Incorporated. We're a regional pizzeria in Cincinnati, Ohio. I've been around 71 years, and I get to do all things people.
Amazing. At a pizzeria. Oh, wow. So you've built this massive platform. You have 3 books, a global blog, and why did you start creating content?
I started creating content back in 2000, before things existed, and everything was email. So when I started my platform that goes global, it's a newsletter, I did it by email. And I would write songs, and then it's evolved from there. Songs that make fun of HR. And then my sister-in-law gave me a blog domain for Christmas.
Oh.
And she said, hey, you should really share what you're doing. I had a chance to start speaking. I started doing the blog, and then things kind of took off from there. And then the books came from, somebody said, hey, I love the blog, but let's do a book. It's grown. I'm humbled by how it's done well.
Amazing. And the early days, the real
Early days.
So you talk about deconstructing traditional HR into something more fluid and forward thinking. Is there a story that you tell people to explain this that makes them go oh, I get it?
Yeah, I think people struggle because we think in a linear fashion, and I don't mean to get existential, but we want everything to be in line, and work isn't like that, and life isn't like that. Work happens very fluidly, and so I tried to capture an organizational structure that said, how does work happen, and then how do you do what you do inside the system? Once we did that, we gave different roles, different titles, different alignment, and now we're getting there. It's new. Some people are struggling because they think it should be top down, when really it's kind of flat and fluid, moves between each other. Every place where we've taken barriers down, people have started performing better.
Why do you think it's so hard for us to knowing that we all know the data? Why is it still so hard for us as HR people to get to that? Okay, we need to change how we're doing things.
I think we believe in the myth of control. And if we say, hey, if I can tighten things up, then everything will work out. And what you find is as you tighten things tighter, more things go wrong, cracks start happening. And if you just loosen up a little and give people boundaries to work within, but within those boundaries, work. Do it crazy. Be creative. Get innovative. Share the talent you have. You see people drop their shoulders and start doing it. But the more constraint we put in, the harder it is for people to understand.
True. So you've written 3 books about transforming HR. For anyone listening, if there's one thing that they should take from all the things that you've written that they could implement, what would it be?
I think the foundational thing, there's 2. One, don't apologize for what you do. We add value in who we are and what we do in the organization. Too many HR people apologize naturally because we think we're showing care. It shows that you're not as assertive as you could be. You don't have to be nasty, but say, I'm an HR, heck yes I am. And the second thing is focus on others. Not on you, focus on others. If you do that on a consistent basis, every facet of HR will work out.
I love that. It's true. Focus on the people. Focus on others. We're a people function, right? We say it all the time.
Yeah.
Yet we overcomplicate things when it comes to our processes and everything. It's go back to basics,
Yes.
to the people. So running your newsletter that reaches thousands of professionals weekly. What conversations are you seeing our community having that they're not having in boardrooms yet?
I think it's a continuum. There are people that by nature are going to be more tactical and frontline. They need a platform, so you let them do that. The people that are more mid-level or strategic, they're asking big questions. Like, how can I make change happen and stick? How can I make it not so programmatic? Because we've all been parts of companies where it's like, here's the new thing and here's the new thing. After a while, people just get tired of it. And the one that's really hitting is creep, don't leap. We tend to leap. Let's change everything. A new regulation comes out. Oh my gosh. We hold, and then we go, step. If we can get people to do that, they're more successful, because if there is a failure, it's this much of a failure. If it's a giant thing, it's just reconstructing things all the time.
Yes. And it's funny, it's a theme in all of the conversations that I've been having today with different people. Start small.
Yes.
We always overcomplicate and try to do, it's like, oh, we have to do this. First of all, it gets you into not starting at all when you
Right.
start complicating and thinking of all the things. And then, like you said, when something goes wrong, it's a big problem.
Terrible. So I think it's funny. Terrible analogy. When you learn to ride a bike, you fell. You're like, I'm not doing that again. And yet, as an HR professional, we fall and fall and fall and fall. And we go, well, I guess that didn't work. Instead of saying, what can I do to learn to make it more smooth all the time?
I love that. So you've, like I said, have this huge platform, and people trust what you say, which I can imagine is such a cool feeling. But there's lots of HR professionals that I speak with who want to start speaking out and like sharing their knowledge, but they're afraid to start for so many reasons. What's your advice for someone who's in this situation?
Two things. I would say the first thing is get peers in your network all the time. Not people that just work with you, but other HR people. Connections like this. Because when you get those connections, you don't have to know everything. You can find it through others. Let others be a resource instead of just a network connection. So if you know you have support outside, you can say, hey, we're trying this new comp system. Anybody else doing that? And then people go, oh yeah, I'm trying that. And once you get those tactical connections, wonderful, or even crazy wild connections, you can move forward and you'll feel support because you may not be able to get it into your inside. The second thing is have courage. We are not doing our job well unless we tell people no for the right reason. So if somebody's going down a wrong path for themselves or the company, it's okay to say, hey, have you thought of this differently? How about this option? Have you thought of this? But sitting back is worse. Inaction never helps.
Yes. What would you tell someone who has the courage but doesn't necessarily have the data to back what they're thinking or what they're seeing wrong?
I think that you can't only argue from an emotional perspective. As HR people, we tend to be emotions first, get it. But the business environment wants to have proof. And stories about emotion, wonderful, heartstrings, but you need to say, and here's the data that shows this. So do your research. Find platforms that are already generating this data. See where you can see stuff that not justifies what you do, but balances what you do. If you go, hey, we're moving this direction, and I'll give you a great example. We just added a new salary platform. First time we've had outside salary research. It's finally became to a price point where we could afford it as a size of company. And so the first thing people did is they went and looked in what they made. You go, no, that's not what this is. What we're saying is, what's the data? How does it prove it? Now, where are our roles? How can it align? So with data, you can become a lot more strategic and also share the personal story that comes behind it. What we need to learn as HR people is the stuff that we do has restraint. because companies can only do so much. It's financial, but it doesn't mean you don't do anything. So what I'd like to tell people is work with the resources you have where you are, and you can do amazing things.
Love it. So there's something that I like to do, rapid fire questions, just whatever comes to mind first. Are you ready?
Sure.
What's one book every HR leader should read?
The Infinite Game by Simon Sinek, best book on the planet. Talks about how work really is and helps people understand that work is not finite, even though we treat it that way. Work is infinite. You got to get it. Best book.
Love it. What's one HR hot take that always gets people fired up in your network?
My favorite one is people don't value us. And I hear that, but we don't value ourselves. So I think if people would value themselves, you can say, look, I bring this to the table. If they would understand that instead of saying, woe is me, and apologizing for what they do, you got to own it. And once you own it, doors open.
Love that. And I have to ask this one. What's one pizza topping that should not exist?
Oh, anchovies. Oh my gosh. When people get anchovies, I'm just like, wow, that's a bold choice. I'm sure it's someone's taste palette, but not mine.
Agreed. Like, I've never tried it because I'm like, I don't think that's gonna, yeah.
Small fish on pizza? No.
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 And I have to ask, pineapple on pizza, yes or no?
Yes, if you have the right ham. If it's just regular ham, no. If it's capicola or something like that, then yeah, then the sweet and sour, then it's nice.
Amazing. And I like to add cilantro to my pineapple ham pizza. It's the best thing.
Sounds wonderful.
Trust me on that one. All right. I've loved this conversation. Is there anything that I haven't asked that you think our listeners should know?
Don't be an isolationist in HR, inside your company or in the profession. It will swallow you if you are. So make sure you genuinely work on having a business set of network people all the time. Isolated people get picked off. Don't get picked off.
A lot of people, me included, are introverts and maybe not as good or comfortable in networking. And I met you yesterday and I've seen everyone knows Steve. Everyone comes and says hi to Steve. How can you start small and building that network?
I think two things. One, know your capacity. So people who are more to themselves, or introverted, 5 people. Because here's what you don't understand. 5 people know 5 people who know 5 people who know 5 people. So if you do those 5, you're already going to have 25. It grows your network. It really does. But you don't have to know all 25. Now, I do.
Yes.
I want to know everybody. But start with your capacity. The second thing is ask something about them other than what they do.
Yes.
So I always say, so Rhona, where are you from? And when we start talking about things like personally, it opens up. Then you can decide if you should be connected or not. I don't believe in just connecting to people just for collecting. I think you should connect with people to say, if we're going to connect, there's a relationship. And then that's when the capacity comes in, you go, look, I can only handle this many people. You'll be fine.
Amazing. How can listeners connect with you?
I'm on every social media platform there is. LinkedIn, Twitter. I won't call it the other one. Instagram. I'm not on Snapchat. My kids are. But Blue Sky. Steve Browne with an E. Find me. Be glad to connect.
Amazing. Thank you so much for joining us today. Great. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to Purple Acorn Live, brought to you by VirgilHR.